Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillia, and today we'll be going over chapter 122 of the We Never Learn manga series. Now, this chapter was actually really emotional heavy and light-hearted with a bit of comedy involved, as we follow the character Miss Kirisu yet again. But we actually get confirmation that December 28th, which is the day in which this chapter is set in, is in fact Miss Kirisu's birthday. And although in the past she has not had many good birthdays, this episode / chapter gives her a fantastic one. Because not only does she come off as being a great character and shows off her good characteristics, she even gets to spend time with the people that she cares about. Well, two of them at least. So we start off with Miss Kirisu basically buying stuff for her birthday. She treats herself. She's there with a bottle of wine, a cake, and a teddy bear, and some fancy looking food. We get some nice sort of graphics and illustrations throughout this manga, and this chapter is no exception. The mangaka basically illustrated this chapter nicely. So she's basically trying to celebrate, and then she ends the celebrations of her own with whatever. You know, she's not really that bothered. It's the same old for her, and, you know, it's not that interesting. She treats herself, no one's with her, and that's just how it's been, apparently. However, this time it's different, because, as she does, Yuiga and Mahiru, they both fall out of the closet and surprise her. Yes, she's very surprised because she's like, what are you guys doing here? And we get a very good comedic sort of reason. It turns out Miss Kirisu's sister, Mahiru, basically wanted to surprise her because it's her birthday. So, having a key that she got, you know, legally, well, I wouldn't say illegally. It was more of a fact that she got permission to have a key. And the way that she says she got permission was just hilarious. We see basically that Miss Kirisu was offered chocolates. And these chocolates were alcoholic. That's right, alcoholic. And we know how bad of a drunk Miss Kirisu is. And it turns out that she gets drunk on chocolates containing alcohol. Like, I don't actually know anyone who's that bad. But hey, it's a great personality trait and a comedic sort of gag that they have with this character. So, we'll roll with it. Anyway, Mahiru's key is revoked after we're told this. But, you know, we carry on. And we move to the present giving section. And this scene, again, was really nice. But it gives us two kind of perspectives from Miss Kirisu that we can take either way. So basically, Mahiru basically gives her a doll that's basically a version of herself. She states that Miss Kirisu can hug it, kiss it, do whatever she wants whenever Mahifu's not around, because, you know, she might get lonely. And then Mahifu basically says, I've got one myself that I can cuddle every night when I sleep too. And Miss Kirisu's reaction is like she's just dead or, you know, she's devastated. That's the impression I get from this. I get the fact that Miss Kirisu is devastated by this realization and by this fact. But you could also take it in the way that Miss Kirisu wants to doll herself. We know how she likes these slightly cute things, and maybe, just maybe, she wants the version of herself as well. Who knows? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below if you've read this chapter. Do you think she's devastated? Because the image certainly looks like it. And if you're not, why not? And if you think that she just wants it, then that's great too. Anyway, because it's such short notice, Yuiga doesn't have a gift for her. But this gift ends up turning out to be a great gift from Miss Kirisu to Yuiga and the rest of the girls, as well as a great gift to us as the viewer in showcasing Miss Kirisu's kindness. And this chapter is all about Miss Kirisu and her kindness, as well as the fact is she receives kindness as well by having these two at her birthday party with her. So as the party progresses, we get a very drunk Miss Kirisu. But before that, I just want to mention, when Yuiga gives her this one day wildcard pass, I'll do anything that you say, we get a very comedic scene with both Mahifu and Kirisu basically going to Crazyville in their minds with what Miss Kirisu could do with Yuiga. And what Mahifu basically says and thinks is absolutely priceless. She basically goes, and I quote, as if their relationship involvement wasn't critique enough, I hadn't no idea they were so kinky. Oh dear, I hope they can at least keep it polosic until graduation. And then she insists on getting one of the cards herself, so she can do, protect her sister in that way. I thought this was great, it was some good comedy, and it worked nicely. However, we then move on to the drunk scene. Miss Kirisu is force-fed some wine by her sister, and she goes absolutely tipsy. She basically starts giving everyone compliments and saying how they're so kind and sweet, and she hasn't had such a fun birthday in such a long time. And although this is quite nice, it's also quite sad. Because birthdays are meant to be a place of celebration and a time of joy, and you're meant to celebrate, your life as it is. But she hasn't had that for a long time, and it's nice to kind of see her having that. We know that when she's drunk, Miss Kirisu likes to say what she actually wants to say. But normally she can't say what she wants to say because of these walls and barriers that she's put up and this persona that she currently has going on with her character. So to see her this complimentary and to see her acting this way is actually really refreshing for us as the reader. So I really did like that. And then we move on to the really nice, kind-hearted scene and / panel. So if you remember, Miss Kirisu got given this I'll do anything you want card. And she actually gives Yuiga what she wants. And that want is actually, she just wants everyone to pass their exams when they come up. And at the beginning of the chapter, Yuiga even states that their grades have improved, and if they do what they do on the practice tests, then, they're in for a good shot. So we get this basically message saying make sure you all pass, and this brings Yuiga into an emotional state because he's so happy, so overjoyed, and he's so kind of moved by this that it motivates him and makes him want to kind of do better than what he's already doing. I don't know how he can do any better, but here we go. Even Mahifu basically turns around and says, the tables have turned. In the end, she gave you the present instead. And that was really nice. I like this from Miss Kirisu's character, and I like it when we get to see her true feelings and intentions. Because although she's quite strict and quite mean and quite sort of cold towards everyone, she has this side to her, and it's really nice to see. It's also good to point out that Mahifu has basically come around to the idea that her sister can become a teacher. It turns out that she's come to the realization that that's what her calling is, and the fact that her family have now gotten back together and is talking a little bit more and is a bit happier since Yuiga has helped her sister out. So this is great. It's nice to see things coming back into full circle with Yuiga helping out Miss Kirisu, helping out Mahifu and the rest of her family, and then, Miss Kirisu helps out Yuiga by giving him this message and comforts him and basically says, you know what, you can all do it, just make sure you all pass and do it. So it's great. And then we end off with a bit of comedy with Mahiru basically saying that because she feels like, she's responsible, she has to make Yuiga do an all-night study session. And Yuiga's crying out for help afterwards because Mahiru is going full psycho on him, and it's great. All the art style and all the panels were drawn beautifully in this chapter, and it was a really nice chapter overall from both a comedic point and from a storytelling point and from a character point. Everything was great. Emotionally, it had it, and it was just really nice to read. So if you haven't read it yet and you really want to read something really good with Miss Kirisu in, then by all means go and read this chapter. It should make you laugh, and it'll give you a nice emotional send-off with the end of this chapter. Now, if you're probably wondering what happened to the other chapter review, 121, that will be coming soon, I think. I just need to reread the chapter and collect my thoughts on it. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this review, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me, and until next time, I hope you all have an amazing day, and, well, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.